Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about why I'm probably the happiest I've actually ever been, despite the fact that I'm still struggling with IIH. So before I get into any details about that, time for the intro. Hey everyone, my name is Ashley Stewart. So 2018 was actually a pretty hard year for me, but it was also a pretty good year too. So I completed my bachelor's degree in biochemistry, but at the same time, I was also diagnosed with a rare condition called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, or IIH. Some of you may also know this by its older name called pseudotumor cerebri. So if you're curious to learn more about what it's like to live with this rare condition, then I encourage you to watch on. Don't forget to subscribe, and I upload new content every Monday and Thursday afternoon. If I sound a little bit tired and a little bit less energetic today, it's because I'm not feeling 100%. I had a very, very nasty headache late last night, so I don't really know how well I actually slept. I feel like I slept, but I don't feel like I slept very, very well, and I'm still having a few symptoms. I was actually having some visual symptoms yesterday, so it was I'm gonna guess it was actually a migraine yesterday that I ended up having last night. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to use my headache helmet for very long before I went to bed because I just had to lie down and wanted to make sure it was good for today. I have to be completely honest that right now, I don't think I've ever been as happy as I am right now, despite the fact that I'm still struggling with the symptoms, still trying to find the ideal treatment plan, because even though my medication seems to have my IIH symptoms under control, we're still working on the migraine issues and all of that, especially with just going through a injury with my ankle. You may be wondering, well, how can you be the happiest you've ever been when you've been through so much over the past year and when things aren't perfect? And I think this is the case because I've been able to explore the things that I wanted to while taking a break from school. I've been having to take a break from pursuing career or further education because of IIH. So I've taken every opportunity to do as much learning as I can, not only like science, which you guys know I love science and will take every opportunity to talk about it, but I also have been finding out a lot about myself too over these past, year and a half now. It's still frustrating because now that I am fairly happy, I'm starting to look into things like, well, maybe it's time to move on, but because I could very well be dealing with IIH intermittently for the rest of my life and have to work around that. I'm aware of that. But we're still working on finding the best treatment plan. And I really want a good handle on this before I try and tackle anything too crazy. So it's kind of where I am in my life right now. Like I said in the end to my my 1 year since I was diagnosed with IIH, which is the last video that I just uploaded before this one, I've gone through so much learning, and yeah, this has been a little bit about science, and actually I've gotten interested in medicine and all of that a little bit more than what I did when I was in biochemistry. I'm trying to really understand who I am so that I can make the best decision on to what career I think would be the best option for me. To do that, you do have to understand yourself quite well. And I had an opportunity that not a lot of people my age get, in the fact that I'm have the resources to be able to explore myself a little bit more in depth and really know myself more than a lot of people do. And I have a curiosity that I can't ever satisfy. This is actually one of the ways that I knew something was really going on at the end of my degree was I lost that drive, and I hit a burnout basically after school because I was working so hard just to finish my degree. Tests had taken the joy of learning right out of me. It slapped the joy of learning right out of me. I think this is what contributed a little bit to me being down a little bit longer too. I guess this is a little bit more of a personal video than it is about IIH. I guess my piece of advice with this is if you're able to, because circumstances lead you to having to hold off on doing certain things in your life because of IIH, it might be an opportunity to look more into yourself and to really know whether you do know yourself to a certain degree. And I'm so thankful that, in a way, that I have had this happen so that I've been able to do this. I had slowly started to figure out a little bit who I was throughout university, but in high school, I didn't figure out who I was. Now that I know that, I can work on the things that are the negative side of aspects of being an introvert. So people often think that introverts are shy or we don't like social interaction, but you know how I gave that battery analogy for how my fatigue works with IIH? And actually, this is a really good analogy now because I actually do have a battery that drains whenever I'm out in social situations because I am an introvert. It drains at a certain rate depending on what type of social situation you are in and how comfortable you are with that particular situation. So, for around a lot of family, if I know them quite well, my battery will drain quite slowly. But if I'm at a party with maybe only one friend that I know and nobody else I know, my battery's gonna drain really quickly. Now, if we add IIH on top of that, parties are pretty much off the table because I'm gonna get there and my battery's almost gonna drain instantly because you've got things that are going to bring on a headache, and that's this. I've already talked about that kind of stuff before. Get me going on a topic that I enjoy, and I'm actually quite loud. I think with having the IIH, it's been hard because of, well, the physical pain, and you do lose some of the things that you like to do. So for me, there are a lot of things that I miss doing and I can't do anymore because of my head. A few examples of that are yoga. I miss riding a bike, so a normal bike. Anything that pretty much requires any amount of balance is hard. Pretty much with the Zumba fitness is as much as I can do with the balance, and it's not that much, and you're actually working on your balance when you're doing that, and sometimes you end up finding some things that you like doing better than what you were originally doing. So, even though I can't do yoga anymore, I can do meditation. no, it's not quite the same, and you don't get the workout with it. A mindfulness meditation is the one point in the day where I get to pause everything and just focus on my breath. And honestly, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything, but after doing it for a few weeks, you start to notice that things are happening. So I think that's why I've been so happy is the fact that of all this other stuff that's been going on that I've been working on besides IIH and besides focusing on my IIH so heavily, it's been a nice distraction. I don't want to say that I'm 100% happy all the time because I definitely am not, especially when my symptoms flare up. It's so hard. It's still difficult when you get a flare up and you remember just how painful the condition is. I think another reason why I've been so happy is because I haven't had very many times where I've been very symptomatic in the last few couple of months in particular. And so that's been a really nice relief. It's nice to have a little bit of a glimpse of what life was like before all this. If you guys have anything you would like to add into the comments down below, don't forget to that you can still make suggestions on what you would like to see for IIH Awareness Month because it is IIH Awareness Month. Be sure to leave it in the comments down below. And as for now, that's it for today. Bye everyone.